Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. The ants in France stay mainly in your pants. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Good morning, y'all. How's it going? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. So what's happened since we last met? Well, instead of gaining 250,000 jobs on non-farm payrolls, we lost 700,000, and nothing's really happened ever since. Very cool. So we already know there's a disaster going on, and we already got everything priced in, and now we're trying to figure out what to do next. Cool. By the way, my name is Wayne McDonald. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for Traders Way. This is probably my fourth global crisis. Cool. So this is a good opportunity for me to share my experiences with you. Now, the overall goal for us to meet every single day like this is for me to teach you how to put together trade plans using technical and fundamental analysis. Therefore, your whole fear of missing out is irrelevant because you won't have any missing out scenarios because you're planning ahead. You only miss out when you're falling behind. So when you're planning ahead, there is no fear of missing out. You're ahead of the curve. So anyways, that's how I believe you're going to find success, right? Your results are going to improve, and sort of the emotions of being a trader will improve, all by trade planning. So technical and fundamental analysis. I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to take notes, and I encourage you looking at Forex as a long-term game, not a get-rich-quick strategy. Okay? If you are benefiting from these webinars that I do every single day, please pay it back to our sponsor by visiting tradersway.com, opening up a demo account, and placing some trades on your MT4. And check out the execution speed. It's fast. Check out the spreads. They're narrow. Check out the swaps. They're big. Check out the customer service. World class. And maybe over time, they'll earn your loyalty and respect. And then when you are ready to trade real money, you'll choose Traders Way as your prime broker to your new successful Forex trading business. So please establish the symbiotic relationship. Think of it this way. If you become a success, you'll trade more, and you'll trade more often, and you'll grow your trading account, and then your lot size will grow over time. That makes you a fabulous, wonderful customer to Traders Way. So they're investing into you today to make sure that you're a success as soon as possible. Because it just makes them more profitable. Your success makes them profitable. It's pretty cool. Oh, hang on, I gotta grab the chat, and I gotta change. Is that gonna come in chat? Where's the chat? I don't know where the chat is. There's a chat box. You are not alone. So there's this new bug, and it occurred today, and it just kind of happened now. Windows are popping up off screen. Have you guys ever had this problem? You open a new window, and it pops off screen, so you can't grab the top. You can't move it. It's just stuck outside of your viewing area. Just wondering why it just showed up in the last couple of days. Yes, press Alt space M. Really? Alt space M? Oh, and now you gotta... Cool. I'll try that. Muchas gracias, señor. Oh, or right click on its icon. And then what? And then you can move it? Interesting. All right, cool. All right, let's move on to calm. So, the end of the world, right? Or is it? Remember the theme that we've been talking about? There's a difference between the economy and the market's going to be months ahead of the economy. At some point, you're going to want to start looking at things in which you want to buy. Okay? Taking a look at gold. Where'd my drawing tool go now? It was right there. I was looking at it, so I know it should be there. Where did it go? It is now gone. All right, I'll restart my drawing tool. Okay, thank you, crypto. I'll take a look. My guess it's the ones that are on Vimeo. I'll double check. Okay, where? Email me again, Daniel. Sorry. It's been a long weekend. Okay, anyways. Okay, you see the ladder we're climbing? Up, up, up. So the next trade plan would be down and up. And this is where we were at the beginning of the day. Okay. And she climbed up. Traditional Asia fade. Perfect, Daniel. Okay. Not very many bearish opportunities, and you can see very bullish off of a double bottom, and we're climbing ladders, right? Climbing the steps. That's the trend. Cool. Euro USD. So far, what we see here is last week a bearish move into a bearish move for the month. And the big question mark is, would we make it lower than that pivot point? And if so, that would confirm bearishness. Notice that this is the sell zone. And we haven't hit it yet. So this may create an OOP scenario where this heads down fast and then comes back up. Okay, the way you typically trade this is you need a 4-hour 21, and we're on the 4-hour, but we don't have a 21. Okay. So in this case, what you're looking for is an up into the 21 and down if you're a bear. If you're a bull, what you're looking for is this. So maybe a breach of the 21 and up. And you're playing this line right here. Okay? So it depends which one you are. Okay? So if you're a bear, it's pretty easy. Wait for the 21 to catch up and push you down. Or if you're a bull, start your up planning. Okay? That shouldn't be the case, crypto. That's weird. I'll have to look at that. That shouldn't be the case at all. Okay. What if it drops and then closed back up? Well, it's not. It's going to do one or the other. It's going to do this, Okay? Or this. I'm certain of it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Anthony. You know, actually, I almost made a mistake. Or actually, I did make a mistake this morning. I was talking to my wife as I was making some breakfast, and I said to her, "Oh, we should do something awesome this weekend." Meaning, like, I felt like the weekend was coming up. And then I realized, just as I said it, that it was Monday morning. And, like, you can't get any farther from the weekend. But it's just funny, like, oh, yeah. So, but thank you, Anthony. Okay. Forex for Life says, Wayne, what is your opinion regarding having multiple accounts, one for scalping, one for swing trading? I've been recommending that for about 20 years. And it has to do with intent is the most important thing. Also, it's really good to know how well you're doing at each one of these strategies. Okay? But the idea that when you open up one of your MT4 accounts and you're preparing for swing trading and all you do is swing trade on that account, you're just the psychological intent that you have with that makes you a better swing trader. You're not just sitting down looking for the next trade. You're like, okay, it's Asia session, or okay, it's the first of the month, or okay, and you open up the chart and you know what you're doing and you have certain trades already open and they're all swing trades and you can run your history and they're all swing trade history, and what you're about to do next is based on swing trading, right? And it's all put together. And then once you got your swing trades, you shut them. You don't stare at the stops and all that kind of stuff. You don't overmanage your trades. What happens is you open up the next MT4 and now you're day trading or market open only, right? So like the guys that are going through live.fxbootcamp.com are doing extremely well, is what I'm hearing. But that market open methodology is particular to that methodology, and swing trading is particular to that, and scalping is particular to that. So to organize your trading that way is very, very beneficial, but mostly psychologically. Okay. So let's go back to this. If you're a bull, it's because you're building off of this bottom, which was a bullish buy. So this goes to, I don't know who was, Raj was like, what if it does this? What if it does that? Dude, that doesn't sound solid. Okay? So let's put it together in a solid fashion. Okay? Bulls down here bought because that was a bullish price. They didn't go any lower. They didn't buy any higher. It is precisely a bullish price, a bullish move built on the first minute of the first day of that week. Okay? And we're in a scenario like that as well. And then when you measure from this period to the current period, there is a bullish trend. Okay? And so a bull would buy here. That's that. If they don't buy there, there's no bulls. There's no bulls lower. There just isn't. That's not how people trade. It's just not proper trading. So there's no bulls there. Okay, so the bulls are here. They're going to buy at 108 and they're going to drive it up as high as 113. Okay? Yeah. So there's that. But then there's a bigger trend, right? What's that, you say? I say, well, let's add more data to the measurement. Because all it's doing is looking at the scatter plot of price and time. And when you measure this way, because it's more time, it's saying over the course of not just 2 weeks, but over the course of 4 weeks, this is more bearish than bullish. And the counter argument is there. Well, there's a high, there's a low, there's a lower high. Notice that it's exactly the price a bear would sell at the exact first minute of the first day of that week. So I know like bulls bought down here because that's what bulls are supposed to do. That's what bulls do. If you're a bull and you don't do that, you don't know what you're doing. Then you have this. Sell zone. This is what bears would do. They did it at the exact price a bear is supposed to sell. At the exact minute bears are supposed to sell, just like this is the exact minute bulls were supposed to buy. At the exact price bulls were supposed to buy. Cool. And so now this has been falling. So if you believe these guys are still in the market, guess what? They're going to sell and prevent you from breaching above 110. They are going to defend the 1.1000. So this is what they are going to do. They are going to do that. That is what bears do. So like Raj is like, what if it does this and what if it does that? There is no what if. There is no such thing as what if. Hang on, let me get my coffee. Oh no! My wife cleaned up after me. I don't have any coffee mugs anywhere. Whoa! No! Mom! Mom! Anyways, isn't it nice to know technical analysis, guys? Isn't it nice to know that you have some level of control? I was talking to a friend over the weekend, and he's like, you must be killing it in the market. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing all right, holding my own. He's like, I bought $40 million worth of Bitcoin last month. What an idiot. So he's... I'm like, hey, thanks for not asking my opinion first, bro. Could have helped you. So he bought it at like, I don't know, $10,000 a share. So he buys 40 million and then it drops to $4,000, right? Like, I could have told you that, brother. Should have logged into my free webinar. I'm like, dude, what made you want to do that? Well, it was 10,000. You know, like, oh man, come on, brother. You just contact me first before you make a trade. Like, I've known the guy for, I don't know, a decade, right? He knows I know. This is what I do. Like, dude, before you drop 40M on Bitcoin, give me a call. Let's have a coffee first, huh? Whatever. Yeah, why didn't he give you the money? I don't, like, seriously, like, whatever, man. Yeah, it's just funny. So, I said, so anyways, we were supposed to talk again over the weekend where I'm like, look, I can help you out at least, like, give me a call first, you know. I'll buy it for you, hedge it out. Yeah. So, hey, just call me, man. Call me. All right. So, there's that if you're a bull. And there's this if you're a bear. You see what I mean now? Okay? That's what I see. Yeah, and Carlito says he's on the bear train and stuff. Well, the interesting thing is, so let's say he's on the bear train and this goes up. Well, the thing is, you don't know how far it's going to go up, but even bears want this to go up. Even bears want it to go up. So it gives an opportunity to the bulls because maybe it goes up and the bears don't really get on the train. And Carlitos is left hanging, right? I mean, this is how these things happen. It's not going to go straight up if it's going to go up. It's not going to go straight up, right? And so bears are still going to, they're going to take this. We don't really know which one, but the thing is, if Carlos gets it wrong, or right, or he knows very quickly when it does this. It's obvious when you're there paying attention, right? And so one of the things we talked about last night in the day trading, swing trading, COVID-19 live trading group was the focus on knowing the other traders' plans, not just your plans. And it comes from my hostage negotiation class and some of the other things that we're doing, and even things like board meetings. I was talking about it where I said, when you're in a board meeting, which is a form of negotiation, it was very clear in my textbook. They're like, look, most people are not going to be prepared. They're going to be lightly prepared. Most people are just going to show up to your board meeting because it was on the schedule, and they roll in and they're like, what's up? And they said, and some people just show up late, right? That will be the vast majority of the people going to your board meeting. Isn't that funny? Like, you're learning this at Harvard. They're like, yeah, everyone's stupid. So the vast majority of people show up, and maybe the good ones know what they want. They have clear, concise goals. Maybe. Those are the good ones, right? And they said, as a participant or as the chairperson of the board, your job is to not only have clear and concise goals for yourself, what are your key objectives for the meeting, but you should understand the clear objectives of everyone else at the table. And I was relating how I thought this was very similar to trading, where not only do you have clear and concise goals, let's take Carlos, right? Carlitos wants something like this. Very clear, very concise. I can see all the arguments, right? But it's not enough. Carlos should also understand what the bulls are going to try to do. And that will make Carlos a better bear. Does that make sense? We get pretty deep in these live meetings. Very cool. Well, I got my second midterm paper back. So I got a 95 on the midterm exam, and then on my paper, I got 50 out of 50. Whoop! Whoop! Professor even thanked me for my participation in the class. Whoop! Whoop! Yeah, got to ride that train, man. A+, except there's no A+ at Harvard. But anyways, I'll take the A. Yeah, 50 out of 50. All right. All right, so anyways, you can see what's going on here. Even if you add a little more time, you can see bears have their thing, bulls have their thing. Okay. So you better know which one. Well, how do you become confident being a bull if the data is bad? Well, that sounds like you're a bear. Thank you, guys. Cup of COVID. Steaming cup of COVID. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. So anyways, let's move on. And by the way, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the loyalty and respect you show me and the other traders. Thank you for being part of the Forex.Today community. I think this is a good thing. So thank you for allowing me to come into your life, even if it's just an hour a day. I hope you're safe. I hope you're healthy. I hope your loved ones are okay. We were talking in the live group last night. Some people have friends and family that are in the hospital on ventilators. So it's a dangerous world out there. But thank goodness that we have access to a career on a laptop. Okay? If you were a waitress at Applebee's and you've lost your job, you're counting the minutes until that unemployment check shows up. That sucks. So I love the idea, like, you can open up your laptop and trade gold against hedge funds in Shanghai and make money. Okay. What a fabulous opportunity. Okay, WTI closed the week high. I think I told you we bought it. We bought it somewhere. Remember, we were long here, I think it was. No, a little higher than that. We were long here, and it must have been right before non-farm payrolls or something. But I clicked the wrong button by mistake. I was trying to close a window, and the window, like, to close something, the X is always on this side, right? And it was this thing I had open. And I'm doing a bunch of things, getting ready for the webinar, and is this streaming? Put in the stream queue, and what is this, and what is that? And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have this open. People are going to be distracted. So I click the X here, but that closes the trade. That to close the window, the X for some reason is on this side. Oh, snap, I said to myself. So we made $1,000 on that trade, but it went up, like, I should have been closer to 4,000 profit. And then check this out. Then Asia opened all the way back down to 25. Is fizzled up. Okay. So anyways, we're back to here at 27. We were long at 25. So I'd be at 2K at this point. Now, this big move, this had to do with a trade deal between Russia and Saudi Arabia, which never happened. And now they're discussing getting together by Thursday, I think it was. And so I don't know what you want to do with this. Okay. Okay. So bears are going to do this. Basically no deal. And bulls really want... well, this was bullish, by the way. The open was bullish. The next bullish move is like this. So you'd have to... You'd need bears to get involved, and then Thursday pick it up. Yeah, crypto. Wayne at fxbootcamp.com. I'm going to look at all of that and double check everything and tweak everything. Looks like some issues with Vimeo. So some of the videos are hosted by Vimeo. Some of the videos are hosted by YouTube. So YouTube ones should not be a problem. So if you're having issues with the YouTube stuff, then that's a weird question mark. Someone emailed me yesterday and said some of the videos are slow to load. And that's weird because it's Vimeo. So it doesn't matter. You should have a fast load speed unless your internet is slow as molasses on a cold Georgia morning, then it's going to take a while. I mean, they're long videos. They're like hour and a half videos, some of them. Okay. Benji says, do you think we can still touch M2? It's not a matter of me thinking it. If it hits that, then I'm going to look for that. Okay? Do you understand? Emad, you're being blocked for some reason. Okay? Emad, Toto Emad, you're being blocked, so posting the same thing 19 times. It's not cool. He's not listening. Oh, he's being blocked because he's spamming. What a scumbag. You guys can't see it, but some scumbag just logged in and he's spamming and he's being blocked and he's spammed about 14 times in a row here. So spammer's gone from the channel now. Boom. And gone. Yeah, Daniel, sorry about that. You got to understand when you break out of the normal process, it's very, very difficult for me. But anyways, I will get you taken care of, buddy. Cool. So let's move over to what? What should we do? Bitcoin not quite ready. WTI not quite there. Oh, let's do kitty cat. Kitty cat. All right. Kitty cat. Okay. Kitty cat. Let's do here. All right. If this goes down, we're risk on. If this goes up, we're risk off. And if you look at the smallest of the time frames here, let's measure from here to here. It's very difficult, almost impossible to know which one. Okay? We had a few currencies like this last night where I'm like, you know what? This one's not so clear. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right? Yeah, Anthony, that was, I think he said that yesterday. Yeah, I don't, well, I don't see it. I don't see that yet. But we'll see. He wasn't very specific. The financial stresses of 2008 had to do with Americans defaulting on their mortgages, and the ones that didn't default were underwater. So that's not now. There's nothing like that. There's nothing even remotely like that right now. So who's he talking about? Like, what is the stress? Is it our businesses like that now? Well, he hasn't said that. He hasn't said what he's said. So he might be kind of setting the stage for him to be a hero or something down the line. Like, okay, it was so bad, but we did a little bit better. Okay. I hated The Big Short, actually, Daniel. It was so biased and trivialized some things and over highlighted other things, and I very much dislike the movie. And it creates this, everyone on Wall Street are scumbags idea, but most people on Wall Street are not scumbags, right? And same thing with Wolf of Wall Street. People are like, "Oh my God, people on Wall Street are such horrible people." Well, they were a firm that was set up shop to lie and steal from people. I wouldn't say that that was the average shop on Wall Street either, right? So, yeah, anything about trading, I get that, but they weren't even trading. They were just lying to people. There's a difference, right? Uh, I'd say, like the Wall Street, the original Wall Street with Gordon Gekko, that's closer to trading, a trading movie because at least they're doing merger arbitrage. Okay? They were doing an event driven strategy like merger arbitrage. And so, and it starts out, of course, he's just a phone monkey where he's locked at a firm and he's selling stock to to dentists and lawyers. And then suddenly he's playing big merger arbitrage with the big boys. That to me is closer. But anytime you make a film about a guy that just does a bunch of drugs and hangs out with prostitutes all day and then steals money from average people, it's not an interesting movie. And that's The Wolf of Wall Street, right? That's not even an interesting movie. And then The Big Short was biased. It just comes across biased. And of course it is biased, right? So as for average people, so even the movie people made money knowing that everyone wanted to blame Wall Street for the 2008 crisis. But it didn't make, right? But then my counter argument to that is, why did you pay way too much for a house when you didn't have enough money to pay for it? Oh well, all the houses were doubling in just a year and a half. Like, so I paid too much for it and leveraged it, put no money down with the hopes I'd make a quick buck. Yeah, that's why you lost money, not because of Wall Street. But that's my point of view. Okay, I remember the time when I was getting ready to sell my house in California and get the heck out before the crash. I had a neighbor, and this guy wasn't rich, and his house wasn't nice. He didn't have a high-paying job, but he was taking money out of his house and buying himself a Cadillac Escalade. And he was driving around with big 22-inch wheels on it. I'm like, this guy's an idiot, and he has a low-paying job, and all he's doing is taking fake money out of his house and buying himself a real Cadillac Escalade. But what happens when housing prices go down? Well, he probably lost his house, probably lost his Escalade. And I'm like, well, there you go. But when it's everyone, then you know there's a big problem. That's why I got the heck out. So he bought himself a Cadillac Escalade and probably lost money on his home and lost his Escalade and went bankrupt. I sold the house for massive profit and moved to the other side of the country and avoided the great financial decline of 2008. He was the dumb money, I was the smart money. That's how you go. Anyway, so that's not me being pretentious. That's being a trader. Okay? So, Wolf of Wall Street and what was the other one? The Big Short. I don't know. That's not. I don't know. I don't think they're fair. Anyways. Cool. So you need to decide, where are we going in the near future? Oh yeah, so Floored. See, I haven't seen that one, but I told the story recently about Floored. I'll have to take a look at that. That's about the closure of the trading floors, I think. Your customer says, I don't think banks care about us retail traders. Like, what do you mean care? Why would a company care about you? So you have a bank account. They pay you what they say they're going to pay you. They charge you what they say they're going to charge you. If you want to have an economy of scope, not just an economy of scale, they'll also offer you things like not just a savings account, but CDs and house insurance and mortgages and stuff. Right? But like care about you. What, they have a million customers. How could they possibly care about you? Why would your bank care about you? It's a bank. It's a big building filled with thousands of employees just trying to get through their day. Right? Don't shop for banks about which one has most empathy for you. Right, Lee? Come on. Oh, he's just replying to you. All right. So, anyways, but you know, people think this way, like, oh, banks are evil. They don't care about you. Nobody cares about you, right? Nobody but your mother. Cool. All right, so let's get off this. What currency do you want me to put on here, guys? What currency do you want me to put on here? Well, so many of you guys are being blocked. I'm trying to show it. YouTube is sensitive today, blocking most of you guys. I can still see it though. I'm just trying to show them. Okay, Kiwi dollar, USD yen, Aussie yen, USD ZAR. Actually, you know what? Let us do ZAR while you answer those. So we'll do some. Looks like some Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, and then let's start with Rand though. Let's start with Rand. I'll throw down some Rand for you guys. Okay. So it started the day so bearish that it was over bearish. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing, guys? So these pink zones are where you're supposed to sell as a day trader. And it opened bearish, but so bearish that it was over bearish. Like, wow. Right? It reminds me of that song, More Human Than Human. Maybe this like more bearish than a bear can be bearish. More bearish than a bear. It doesn't kind of work. But holy smokes, that sucks if you're South African, huh? All right. So anyways, we top out. And what do the London boys do when they get to their desk in the morning? Well, if the market is high, they sell. If the market is low, they buy. So they come to their desk in the morning and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this!" So they sell it. Cool, great. So you get this double top. Okay. So the real question now is, what do you do tomorrow? And the tomorrow is this. At some point, this bottoms out. So let's say it bottomed out right around this 200 EMA. I can see that's where the support is, right? So let's do this. Then tomorrow, if it stays bearish, this won't tell you if it stays bearish, but if it's a trend, you're going to look at something like this. Okay. Okay. What do you think? Okay. Now, if that's phony baloney, then a bull is going to do this. I'm going to go to indicator list. I'm going to say this is actually not bearish, so I'm going to switch it from bearish mode to bullish mode to figure out where the bulls are going to buy. So if you are a bull, you were born to destroy the South African rand. I want to run. I want to hide. I want to tear down these walls that hold me inside. All right, and that's your plan for the day. Notice there's some sort of symbiotic relationship going on in here. Okay, so this is where amateurs lose money, right? This stuff. Oh, I'm a good singer? Oh, thank you very much. Hey, yeah! James Hetfield, sure. Hey, Mr. High Volt, you were right. It is she caused a scene. If you're in Billie Jean, did cause a scene. She didn't cross a scene. She caused a scene. Heads turned and eyes dreamed of being the one. Yes, I Googled that. You were correct. Of course I Googled it. Yeah, you're that important to me. I will Google it and I will correct myself if I'm wrong. Martin says, I think it's going up. Cool. So here's what you do. Okay, ready, Martin? But what a cool looking name. Martin Nouveau de Villadere. Man, you need to start a vineyard, my friend. Martin, where are you from? Ah, see, I am French. I'm more of a Rhone red guy, but Bordeaux's all right, I suppose. All right. South Africa just downgraded below junk status. So, Gamma morning. Kai Koken. This is bearish. This would be up. So we're on a 5-minute chart now. And we're going to put together a trade plan. Do you like buying this if it's making a lower low? Let me do this in pink. Martin. Well, Saint Martin is Dutch. So you got to get that right. Okay. So we need some sort of indication of up. So how about this? Do you have the strength and the fortitude and internal courage to wait for a 21.55 cross up? On a 1 minute chart? No, I can't wait. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Highvolt. Okay. So pumped that I'm a wine guy. I'm an angel investor that puts money into independent vineyards around the world. And we just put money into 2 different South African vineyards, in fact. And the timing must be fantastic for them. So imagine like there's these 2 vineyards somewhere in South Africa producing some really nice wine. And we just bought their entire vintage. We just bought the whole thing and said, just make wine. Don't worry about it. It's already paid for. And so now they just have to go out there and tend the grapes and harvest them when they're ready and put them in a bottle. But every bottle's already been sold to us. So now they just focus on growing grapes and not trying to figure out how to pay the bills and sell the wine. I mean, think of it. Not only does it take a year or 2 to grow the wine, but then you have to sell it. You know? So anyways. So if there's going to be a floor here, if you're a bull, okay, it's got to happen soon, and you're going to confirm it technically somehow, okay? And so you're waiting for a cross like this, but for it to cross up in the near future. And when you got that on your lousy, stinking, no good 1 minute chart, game on, you have permission to engage. What do you think of that? Okay, so backing track guitar says I follow depth of market. I hate oscillators. Oh, I don't love oscillators either. And I'm not making a decision on this oscillator. The decision's already been made. This is a confirmation to make sure I'm not the first idiot into a move. I don't want to be the first idiot in the move. I'm happy to be the second idiot. Right? So this isn't all the other things in the world, right? This has already been done. If you believe the South African rand is going to weaken, or you believe the US dollar is going to strengthen today, you have the right price action, the right pivot action on a daily basis, and all that kind of stuff. And so now you're in your zone in which you're very, very interested in buying, both fundamentally and technically. And now it's about pulling the trigger, not about making decisions. So this is all strategy. And now we're on tactics. Okay? So you're the sniper now. You're adjusting your scope, couple extra clicks, testing the air, the wind, paying attention to your breathing, taking the safety off. This is all about going through the motions. When do you squeeze the trigger? Okay? But the strategy has been done. Permission to engage has been called. Now you got to do your job. Okay? That would be one way to make that decision. It's not the only way, and it's not like the right way. It's just one of the ways you can do this. Okay? Pete says a swap is redonkulous to the upside. Well, the swap doesn't occur until 5 p.m. ET. So there's, between now and then, Pete, the swap is zero. You don't pay until rollover, or you don't get paid until rollover. Okay? Does that make sense? Hey, could I trouble you for something? I don't like to ask for too much, but would you click the like button? Right, there's like almost 300 people watching and 79 likes. That's pretty bad. So if you thought at least a few minutes today was interesting or helpful, would you please click the like button? It's important that we tell YouTube that this is a community that you value. Okay? Doesn't help me personally, but it is good for the community. Bushy Smalls, why don't you just join the swing trading group? Oh, you know what? I probably haven't told most people. Oh, that's interesting. Did anyone not know about the, 80% deal, the 76% off deal? Does anyone not know that? I launched it at FX Street on Friday during Non-Farm Payroll's 14th year anniversary of that webinar. It's every single video on FX Bootcamp. You know the package? You know the all video package that's $1,600? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The all package bundle, the all video bundle. The super sale is $1,600. That's the deal? That's the deal. How would you like that for less than $400? Less than $400. Not on sale for $1,600. Not $1,500 or $1,400. Not even $1,250. Not less than $1,000. Less than $900. Less than $800. Less than $700. Less than $600. $382. Okay? And I'm only doing it because of COVID-19. You guys are locked up in your apartments, in your homes, and this is an opportunity for you to spend time. So again, the normal deal is $1,600. Every once in a while, I'll offer like a mega deal, like 888. I think 6 months ago, I offered it 777 for the beta test site. You might have been right. Some of you guys signed up for the super secret soft launch beta test site for 777. Now it's 382. Only because of the COVID-19. And this is just another way for me to give back. Okay? So for those that paid significantly more, I hope you're not pissed off at me, but this is just a way to support the community. Hang on. Here, I'm going to post it. So watch this. So the swing trading and the day trading course is in there. Well, Joe, if you don't have any money at all, I can't help you, brother. Okay, there it is, 1,618. You put in the COVID-19 right there. COVID-19. And it drops by 76.4%. Okay. You got it? Okay. Yeah, and Daniel's got it, right? The fib number. Daniel just figured it out. All right, cool. Well, the fundamental decision is that South Africa is going to have a very difficult time exporting when they can't produce anything. So that's the big problem. By the way, you notice how if you were eager to buy, my advice to you already has saved you from making a rash entry. We're still on a 1 minute chart and it's dropping to a new lower low, right? And it's still on the 1 minute chart. It says, look, wait for it. Okay. So it's very cool. So as a bull now, you're just sitting around waiting for a 21.55 cross up on a stupid 1 minute chart. And then you can start firing for effect. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Charlie says, why is USD strong? Because it's a risk-off currency. And when in particular, less developed economies around the world are in trouble, they use the United States of America as their bank. And many times it's the central bank. Like, let's say the central bank of Indonesia might be putting money into the Fed like crazy and buying dollars. But millionaires and billionaires in Indonesia are also putting their money in the United States and getting it out of Indonesia, right? That would be like one example. I'm just grabbing a country. No disrespect to our Indonesian brothers and sisters. But most likely that money is going to Singapore. But nonetheless, when countries around the world are in a world of hurt, they move money to America. It's the largest economy in the world. It's a very, very developed economy with a strong legal system, a deep bond market, right? But the most important thing about America is that 70% of its economy is internal to itself. So if the rest of the world went away, like if the rest of the world went to zero, the United States could live on its own, with its own people and its own economy. And like I was talking about before, what happens is the waitress at Applebee's gets her hair cut at Supercuts, and the person at Supercuts commutes, so they buy gas at Shell. And the person that does the cashier at the gas station eats at Applebee's. Okay, and that's how most of America works. 70% of America is just going in a circle, just money going in a circle. And the stuff they buy just happens to be made in China. Okay, but Americans could do it too. So that there's a big value to know. And then lastly, and the most important thing about why does the dollar get strong when things are bad? Well, it's a reserve currency, which means all its debts are priced in US dollars. If you're Turkey and you borrowed a bunch of money from the United States, you're borrowing that money in dollars. So if the value of your currency, Turkish lira, drops by 50%, your debt in dollars has doubled, and yet you're poorer than you used to be, and now it's double, right? So now it's a real problem, isn't it? But in the United States, if its currency drops by 50%, its debt drops by 50%. Isn't that an unfair advantage? Yeah. That's why it's good to be the only reserve currency in the world. So when things are bad, the dollar gets strong. And when things are good, the dollar gets weak. Okay? Isn't Canada like that? Yeah, sure, Michael. Very much so, except Canada heavily relies on its exports. It's an exporting nation. So Canada has wonderful natural resources. It has oil. It has gold. It has diamonds. It has wheat. It has barley. It's got timber, it's got beef, it's got nickel, it has copper, it has fish, it has beef, it has K cars. Do they still make K cars and outside of Ottawa or something? Yeah, but anyways, Canada exports a lot, and it exports almost all of it to the United States. Okay. So, yeah, Joe Fat points to something. You might do some research about economies around the world and find out which ones export and which ones import. Okay? Yeah. But it is a developed economy for sure. Oh, for sure. Okay? So the interesting thing, Michael, is if Canada went from 25 million or whatever, it's probably 30 million now. If Canada went from 30 million to 300 million, it'd probably be closer. It would consume all its oil, all its timber, all its beef, all its wheat, right? It would just consume its own and probably be better off. But there's only 30 million people, right? And it's just filled with natural resources. So what do? Cut down the trees, sell it to the Americans. And then when there's no trees, have Americans come up, bring their quads, rip up the north, shoot all the game, right? Destroy all the rivers, and then and collect it and sell them some T-shirts. Leonardo says Argentina near the biggest crisis of all time. Argentina's been in a crisis for 35 years now, right? Anthony Lou says Canada is very much self-sustaining. It just needs to be bigger, though. That's my point, Anthony. It has everything to do it. And by the way, like I said, one of the reasons the United States is a reserve currency is it has a very mature market, a very stable political system, very stable legal or reliable legal system, very mature bond market, all that kind of stuff. Well, Canada has all of that. And in fact, its financial system is so sound that it never really entered the 2008 financial crisis. It's amazing. And then the Canadian that ran the Canadian economy was hired to be the person in charge of the Bank of England, the oldest central bank in the world. I think that's really cool and a testament to Canada. So if Canada had 10 times more people, maybe it steps up and it becomes a reserve currency. And of course, in 100 years, it'll be the most powerful country in the world because it'll have something like 80% of the world's fresh drinking water. Okay. Peccary says, I wanted to join the live group, but it wouldn't let me. When I click join, it shows an empty table, membership levels, and that's it. Well, why don't you email me? Wayne@fxbootcamp.com, okay? Yeah. We'll get you taken care of. No worries. Focus says, I heard that the market is recovering already. Just doesn't make sense. Well, no. But again, I've been telling you guys for weeks. There's a difference between the market and the economy. Do not consider them the same thing. Okay? Okay? So, I don't know. Let me just pick a random stock here. Hang on. All right. All right, so here's a stock that's 30 bucks a share. Okay? It's been 30 bucks a share for several years. The 52-week low is currently 6 bucks. It was 30. It just happened to be 6 bucks last week. Okay. MGM has one of the largest casinos on the Las Vegas Strip, and they have casinos around the world. I was told last night that it's the biggest employer in the state of Nevada. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was told. All right. Look at this. Kirk. It looks like a Finnish guy. Anyways, all right. So anyways, this is your exposure to Vegas. Do you think MGM Grand, in the heart of Las Vegas, is suffering from lack of visitors, lack of hotel rooms being sold, lack of gambling, lack of food and alcohol sales? Do you think they're hurting right now? Hello? Okay. And how long until you believe we're near capacity, near average capacity? When do you think the numbers become about average? Occupancy rates are average again, alcohol sales are average again, gambling revenues are average again. When do you think that's going to happen? Okay, cool. Stock prices have doubled in the last week. Last week you could have bought it at 6. Now it's on its way to 12. Okay? The stock has doubled. Okay? So let's say you bought it for, let's say you put 25 grand in at $10 a share. Okay? In a year or 2 or 3, it'll be back to $30 a share and you'll have 75,000. Oops. What happened? Where did it go? Okay. Or you wait. Okay? Or you wait a little bit and you pick it up a little lower. Okay? So you need to make a decision. You understand that? And you have to be there. Make the decision. Do you think MGM Grand can survive the next 6 months? And will it be around 20 years from now? Yeah, I very much dislike Target. So that one's going to, I don't think you can convince me. If you think of like how ill prepared they were with security of people's credit cards, but companies get hacked. Okay, that's fine. But they got hacked and it was bad. And then they try to cover it up and that's bad. But like what kind of retail company has stores all over the United States and they fail to open up in Canada? Like they try and they fail. Like what are you talking about? The incompetency is so ridiculously high on the management level. They can't even open a Target in Canada? Are you mentally deranged? Like if you can't open up in Canada, you can't open up anywhere. And right? They barely can run them here in the United States. So like, I don't want to buy Target, but that's me, right? Well, that's just my opinion. Don't hold that back. So my point is, you're not a professional stock trader or analyst, and I'm not your wealth manager, but my advice to someone that's not a professional analyst, like when you pick a stock, you're supposed to analyze future products, you're supposed to analyze the company's debt level, their earnings, not just earnings per share, but the earnings, expected earnings, the management team, patents, a return on capital, return on equity, to show you how they're using their leverage, the effectiveness of their leverage, their inventory turnover numbers. Like that's what an analyst does. But 99% chance you're not one of those guys. So I would say, because you're going to need to invest. Look at this, guys. It just popped to $12. Wow. So anyways, you're going to need to put money to work if you're going to be richer 10 years from now. Okay? And you're going to have to take on some risk, and you're going to need to make some investments because that's how you get your reward. But you're not a professional, and I'm not giving you advice, so how do you do it? Well, I would recommend that you buy something you know. Something you use in your everyday life, and all your friends and other people use. And so you might know, like, every woman in your neighborhood goes to Target. And every time they grab their husband and drag him to the store with them, he looks miserable. Like, what the hell am I doing in a Target? Okay? But you're like, but everyone goes to a Target. Well, then fine. The thing is, you have to believe that this company is going to be around 25 or 30 years from now. And if you're my age, in your middle 40s, that means, when you're getting close to dying, you still own this stock. And you're either going to cash out and stop working, or you're just going to give it to your children. And it'd be great if you can earn some dividends along the way, just to have some income. Okay? But that's what I recommended my friends over the weekend. Like, buy what you know, buy what you believe in. Don't go for companies that you don't understand, because then you are betting on things like the future cash flow of the potential intellectual property portfolio over the next 10 years, right? And like, dude, you don't got that. You don't got that shot in your bag. Leave that to a professional, okay? But if you think people are going to go to Vegas and gamble and drink and whore like they've been doing for the last 50 or 100 years, you might not even like it. My wife's like, I don't know if I like a company like that. Like, there's nothing about like. Do you like to retire with money in the bank, right? It's just, do you think it'll be around? Will it survive? And can it go up? Are you okay making 300% return on investment? Okay. Does that make sense? At least that's my thought process. And maybe you don't like MGM, then you know what? You're going to make it more complicated. Should you buy MGM, or should you buy Sands, or should you buy, well, whatever. Then now you're getting more complicated, but feel free to do it, right? Cool. So I got this open. I'll pop it one more time. Okay. Again, this gives you something to do while you're locked up in your apartment. At least you can sharpen your saw, guys. Okay. And what time is it? So it's pretty late. You know what? I'm going to call it a day. We'll pick up here tomorrow. We can go through the dollar pairs, the yen pairs, the Swissy pairs, gold and oil, and all that kind of stuff tomorrow. JF Laundry says, how do they go up when no one is traveling? I just said, if you think they're going to be around 30 years from now, okay? But if you think COVID-19 is going to be around 30 years from now, or if you think the vast majority of the world is going to die, then that would be a bad investment. But if you think the worst will be over in 6 months, then all you need to know is MGM is big enough of a company that they have access to liquidity. Can they borrow money to float them for the next 90 to 180 days? Well, the government's giving away free money. And by the way, do you know those loans? You know those loans that the government's giving out to businesses to keep them afloat? Did you know when you can show that those loans are used to pay for things like payroll, those loans are forgiven? So if you borrowed $1 million as a small business and you show that, 600,000 of it went to payroll, they instantly forgive it. You got the 600,000 for free. Now, imagine your MGM grand. Jicka, 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 Slim Shady. So, if you think MGM grand is going to get their hands on that free money and survive the next 3 or 6 months, and then when things go back to normal and people have their jobs again, and they get that $1,200 or $1,500 check, whatever it is. Like my family is getting like almost $4,000 free from the government. Vegas trip, Bubba. Vegas. Boom. Right? Nickel slots all night long. Free booze. Okay? That might go down that way. Guess who's going to benefit from the free money and the surge in new business? Okay? No, Mr. Highvold, I don't think Delta would do something like that. First of all, they're structured completely differently. And then lastly, they're going to get free money anyway, so why would you bail? Okay? It's just a different form. Their legal system might be set up where that happens. But you know what? In Europe, Europeans are not allowed to go bankrupt. You go bankrupt in Spain, for example, 27 years later, they're like, well, you went bankrupt. In America, the stigma only lasts like 6 or 7 years. Right? Jim says awful lot of spamming today. Well, how about this? I'm going to make some of you guys moderators. Okay. I'm just randomly grabbing people I know. And if you see people are bad, get rid of them. Okay. I just went up the chat. I'm grabbing a few more. Okay, I just randomly grabbed a whole bunch of people that are now moderators. If you see spammers, go ahead and get rid of them. But don't go ape crazy and start spamming or blocking everybody, okay? So now, yeah, so here's a spammer, Arjun, some idiot, blah, blah, blah. So you'd kill that guy. He's being blocked. But anyways, good practice for some people. No, you don't put them in timeout because they just come back. You just kill them. Yep. That's all right. So 99.9% of us are awesome. So thank you for being part of the Forex.Today community. Thank you for all your positiveness and your focus. I appreciate your professionalism and your courtesy. And I thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. If you're in my swing trading group, I will see you 8 p.m. tonight in between my 2 Harvard classes. So this one should be a fast one, maybe only 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour. I said that last time I went, a full hour. But in between my 2 classes, I'm going to give myself about 6 minutes to eat dinner, then bust out a webinar, and then show up to my second class late. So on Mondays, I'm in class from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. But somewhere in there, I'm going to squeeze in time to do a group meeting with you all. So you're that important to me. I will give up my dinner to make sure you're taken care of. Okay?